spring color in the wilderness. Those white flowers are everywhere. Every day you walk out here, if you open your eyes, you'll see something new. Look, there's some more of those white flowers over here. And there's some little purple ones. More white flowers. They're all over the place over there. Gotta figure out what kind of flower those are. Shadow, come on.
Hi, Shadow. Come on, man.
Is he coming?
Yeah.
Here he comes, here he comes. He's trotting along.
He stops to get snacks.
Yeah, what's this up here? Eggshell?
Why is it eggshell up there?
I don't know.
Means someone stole it. There's poop near it.
Huh? What type
Maybe
of...
that's where all my eggs are going. Remember you'd say when the eggs start to turn into the chicken? But last night I only got like 2 eggs.
That's,
The dogs might have carried it.
not over here. That's not dog poop. There's footprints up here.
Yeah, but dogs were up there too. They were up there earlier today.
Today?
Yeah, I was watching them.
Well, that's because they smelt that. Could be a skunk, it could be a raccoon. Carry the egg over there. That's kind of odd.
Well, maybe they think they're king of the hill.
Yeah, king of the mountain. Oh. We'll go into the deep forest and see what we... Oh look, there's some purple flowers. I gotta look these up. Huh?
Let me see what they are.
Oh, purple flowers.
Indian paintbrush. I think those are Indian paintbrush or some kind of foxtail things.
What's kind of
Or
neat is...
shooting star things.
What's kind of neat is you got the white and the purple. We need to get some honeysuckle. The red honeysuckle.
Shadow! Matt!
Shadow! His tummy dictates what he does now.
Why?
Lupins still haven't bloomed.
That means that he can't come with us because he doesn't follow. Shadow! Meow!
You got Elvis. You got Elvis.
Look at him run.
Elvis, Oreo. Who's down there? Elvis, Oreo, Duchess. Brandy's not there.
No, Brandy's kids. Actually, Duchess has been taking care of Brandy's kids.
Oh, more lupins. Lupins, no flowers yet. Hey, don't eat that. Huh? Some more lupins over here. And then you got wild strawberries. Lupins. I wonder if any of the lupins are gonna... Lupins everywhere. This gulch stopped running. So babe, you're gonna have to school me on the widowmakers you looked up this morning to prove your point.
A widowmaker is a dead branch or the top of a tree that just falls on suspected people that come by, and they said that in the old times, that when that happened, the woman was instantly widowed. So I want you to stand underneath the tree. No, I'll keep you for a while.
You'll keep me for a little while?
Yeah, you're a good guy.
But you just need the slave labor.
Yeah, I am a slave.
Lady!
But that's what a widowmaker is. Those are the things that you want to be careful when you're cutting down a tree. Make sure that thing doesn't vibrate.
Got more plants coming up.
Yeah.
What kind of, I wonder what that's going to be interesting to see what that is. That just kind of shot up overnight. Then you got the
wild strawberries.
wild roses, yeah, wild strawberries.
Those bears will be out like over here like crazy when those come out.
Yeah.
My bees would be down here, pollinating them.
You would think that if we had more deer, they'd be down here too. Here's something else. These are coming up, whatever this is. See it? Color in the wilderness. The creek's still flowing in the creek bed. I don't know if you can see that. I want to talk about these trees a little bit. So we have one right here. Can we see it? Top of it's dead. Then we have another one right back over there. You see the top of it's dead. What ends up happening is the tree grows to a certain size, and it's almost as if you put a plant in a pot that's too small. Once it's exhausted all its resources, whether water or soil, the tree grows to a certain size and then it gets choked out.
See these things right here? These remind me of bamboo. Look at the range.
Yeah.
Reminds me of bamboo. Bamboo's that color until it dries out.
No, that's red alder.
Pretty cool. I know this. Come on, Dano. He's getting himself a little snack.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that would happen. Here's the other one.
I think he likes going on walks with this because he gets to eat certain things.
Well, yeah, he gets to eat along the way. Well, look at this one. This one here is dead.
It's got a little bit of green stuff, but it's pretty much
Does
dead.
it have? Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's dying.
Sad. It'll fall over. It'll probably fall over in the
Oh.
road because see how it's leaning this way?
Yeah, it's leaning this way. It's a big tree.
It is.
How big that tree is?
Huge.
Huh? Here, come here, babe.
You already had me do this one before.
Did I? I don't think I got it.
Here.
This is
You need to measure it.
oh, that's over 4 feet.
That,
It's over 4 feet.
yeah.
That tree's over 4 feet wide, and it's dying because the soil isn't rich enough to support its continued growth. It's starving.
That's why you gotta turn out the forest and not do
Yeah, it would live longer if you thinned it out. Well, the madrones are kind of starved out because of these evergreens. The madrones aren't getting enough light right now. But if all these trees die, or if it's not properly maintained and there's a forest fire, one of the first things to come back will be the madrones and the red alders. It's another glorious day on the Off-Grid Homestead. So what have we been up to lately? Got a friend here. What? One of the babies. Been siding the side of the animal enclosure, animal barn. So I've got these metal roofing panels and they're driven down into the ground. That will prevent rodents and such from being able to tunnel underneath it. On the inside, we're going to put down some crushed rock and such. Got a whole bunch of babies over here. Everybody's wandering around. That one there's pretty. They're all used to Tammy. So on the inside, we spent yesterday clearing this side out and getting the grass hay stacked over here to the side. Lady, 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 don't chase the goats. Lady, 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 stop chasing the goats. Lady likes chasing the baby goats. Over here, you can hear it in the background. The meh, meh. That's Shadow here. You hear him? Meh. Meh. He thinks that Tammy's his mommy. Lady, lady. You can get the babies again. Got rabbits. What, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got the brown rabbit. 1, 2, 3. There's one. 2, 3. I think there's a fourth one in there, a fourth white one. And then over here, Tammy has the males. Got 1 and 2. The other one's in the back over there. Let's get the skid steer started, and we'll load up a log so we can cut some vertical timbers for the timber frame build for the substructure and crawl space, and then we'll get some 1-bys cut for the vertical board and bat siding. Fruit trees are all blooming. Filling the trailer up with trash. I started clearing the trees up above here that we had cut down last fall. Started clearing those out and cutting them up. But today we're going to, and I keep saying I'm going to, but today I'm going to load up a log onto the sawmill over here and get a timber cut and get some 1-by boards cut for the barn animal shelter. Yesterday I worked on our 1955 Model 70 tractor. I gotta change the coil and do a tune-up on that. It's over here, but I gotta get that out of there because it's in the way. I parked it over there, and it's been sitting. It's been sitting for a while, and I don't know the last time it was actually had a tune-up. Got the frogs in the pond at night, all night long. They're croaking. Let's get this day started. This is all madrone that we had cut last fall. You see it up in here. We gotta get it all cleared up, and then we're gonna take the smaller branches that we haven't cut down or cut up, should I say. And we're gonna chip all those. That way there will break down faster. Most of the chips, we got our big chipper down by the garden now. We're gonna take most of our big chips and put them in the food forest. They'll act as mulch, and break down and add nutrients to the soil. These madrone trees are pretty fast to grow back. They don't have any commercial timber value because as they dry, they have a tendency to check and crack real easy. But if you cut one down, the root ball will send up new shoots. But by clearing it out, we'll give a chance for these evergreens to grow. The madrone really doesn't like growing in the shade. It's an evergreen. It doesn't lose its leaves during the winter. But I want to get this stuff I cut up out of the way so I don't run it over with the skid steer. But the stuff real heavy and dense. It's a real good firewood. And a smoking wood for cooking. If you look at this piece of wood, the goats, I'll show you these two. The goats like to eat the bark off the madrone trees. They really like the goats and the sheep really like eating the leaves. You let this stuff dry too much, it becomes hard as a rock. Oh, this stuff will burn forever. It's actually better than burning oak. Produces very little ash. But it burns, when it gets going, it will actually burn. It burns hot. By cutting this up now, we're giving the wood plenty of time to totally dry out and be ready for next winter. And then, like I've already said, we give the chance for the evergreen pines and western red cedar and the fir trees, and also you can get some sunlight into the oak trees. And the benefit of the oak trees really is, besides firewood, they provide shade in the summer, but they shed their leaves in the winter, which allows the ground cover to get some sunlight. The end goal is to reduce the fire hazard and create wildlife habitat. The grasses will come up. What I did yesterday was I started cutting this stuff up and throwing it off the hillside. Get these last few pieces of wood we cut. All right, we have her loaded up. I'll get on the way. This is our third pile of logs over here. I put them over here before winter started, planning on milling them up over the winter. We've taken a few, but not as many as I thought. with this temporary cover in the way, we have to swing the log into the mill around this post. See how we do. Oh, we could have done better. My fork, I couldn't see. My fork was on the bed of the mill. We got it around the post. Doesn't look like we damaged it. We'll see. We've got our backstop set at 6.5. We need to keep that in mind as we're cutting so that we don't run our saw blade into the backstops. Now I'm using our dogs, or our lockdowns, to hold the log in place, locking it in. If you remember what this is, make sure you leave a comment. One thing I saw once I put this log up here It's covered in sugar ants, little tiny, tiny black ants. We got this locked in. I'm gonna check real quick to make sure all our backstops are at 6.5 inches. Six, 7. So 7 inches. This one down at this far end is 7 inches, and we get 6 inches, and then 6.5. So 7 inches. We got to keep that in mind so we don't run our saw blade into it. I need to top off the water, the blade cooling water, and I got to top off the fuel. This can isn't full. I topped off the generator for the next time we have a whole bunch of cloudy days. It'd actually be easier if I did it from the other side. Oh. Thing's dripping. They don't make these gas cans as good as they used to. And then they all have these stupid safety ends, but they, you know, it doesn't matter if you have a safety end if it frickin' drips gasoline all the time. Oh. I believe that the holder cans were better. You know, you had the tip on the end, you remove the cap from the end, and then you got a filling tube or a nozzle on the end. These safety things are for the birds. Now I need to top her off with water, but yeah, those safety nozzles, when they approve those, they mustn't do a long time verification. It's probably like, yeah, it works, but you know, they either leak, if they don't shut off, and it overfills, and it splashes everywhere. Or the cap where it screws down to the gas tank, it leaks. They don't leak at first, but they leak. Pretty much full. I think it's safer if you know what it's going to do all the time. You know, it's kind of a, you got a brand new gas can, maybe a week old or whatever, and then it starts leaking. I'm real curious if anybody has found a newer gas can with the safety fill nozzle deal. If you found one that's good and it has any type of longevity, because I've tried 2 different ones, 3 different ones, and none of them seem to be worth anything, and they all seem to leak. This log seems to have a pretty good taper to it. 12 on the small end. 15 on the big end. Let's take our first pass. Summer months, I add some dish soap to the water. Helps keep the pitch from sticking to the blade. This bucket. If not, all the sawdust goes on the ground. Right here we can catch it. Well, we made a mistake. We should have shimmed the log. 3 inches of taper was way too much. So we ended up taking 1 cut. Well, actually we took 2 cuts. In the second cut, we cut the log down by quite a bit. We've got about 8.5 inches right now. The problem is the log goes from 14 3/4 to 10. So on this direction there's a larger taper, which means we got a whole bunch of drop in there. I should have shimmed the log up and to make sure that the pith was dead center. Right now on this end my pith is 1 inch down. And on the small end, it's 3.5 inches down. How much of a shim do I need? I'm going to rotate this. So 10, I need a 2-inch shim when I rotate this 90 degrees. Going to turn it so that the 45-degree angle on the backstop is facing towards the log. That way there, when I rotate it, it won't hang up on the point. So if I turn it so the 45 degrees facing, it won't hang up on that. I still have to get some PVC pipe to put over the tops of these. It's like one of those things that you don't think of until you're actually doing it and you need it. I was hoping I was going to get a 7x10, but we're not going to get a 7x10 because we didn't shim it. Reminds me, I need a 2-inch shim. Inch and 7/8. Alright. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to put in the comment section what this is. What do they call it? We've turned our log 90 degrees. We're not going to need the back stops anymore because we got a flat side to work off on the back. I'm going to cut the other two sides of this, and then I'm going to take the pieces and I'm going to shim the cover up. I'm going to make stands and raise it about a foot. So we've emptied our sawdust, and then yeah, just get this down. You're going to get this bark layer off. Discourage the bugs. There's a lot of bugs in this log. They're on the surface of this log. Quite a few centipedes showing up. Sugar ants. There's a millipede on this piece of wood. My draw knife. It's very important that you get the bark off. Bugs like to live in it, or between the layer, the bark layer and the wood. What I'm doing is I can see where the bugs are burrowed into the wood. So I'm taking it down to good wood. And then I'm gonna cut some 24 inches pieces off, and I'm gonna raise this canopy so I can leave it up all summer. We've removed the bark from the timber. Now I'm gonna cut 24-inch blocks out of it using my chainsaw, and then I'm gonna raise this cover, temporary cover, up. I don't know where the millipede went. I kept trying to record him, but he was too fast. We removed the bark using our draw knife, and our draw knife has a beveled side, this side, and a flat side. So what you want to do is you want to put the beveled side down towards what you're working on. That way that you can control how much you're taking off. You can control that by tipping the blade up and down. If you put the flat side towards what you're working on, you can't really control that, and the draw knife has a tendency to dive. So I'm going to cut 24-inch pieces off of here so I can raise the tarp up. 24, 48, 72, and 96. 96. Usually when you're cutting something or working with something, you're worried about the kerf or the amount of waste material you have for the thickness of the blade. So with the chainsaw, it's what, like 3/16 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. But this isn't, when I'm working with anything critical here, so I'm not really worried about that. I just want to get the cover up higher. But I do want the cuts to be square. That way there, when I put the 24-inch piece down, it will sit flat. This isn't what I originally planned for this, but it's good for that because I'm tired of fighting the cover as I'm cutting. Because what's happening is the tape on the sawmill with the measuring stick there is hitting the cross members on the cover. I'm just going to cut these off using chainsaw. So we got our chainsaw gassed up and full of bar oil. And then again, I was talking earlier about the different types of fuel tanks. Even this type here, where you got to push the red thing in and then it goes down. It won't stick this time. But what ends up happening with this type, like if I'm filling my chainsaw, this gets pushed down, right? And then you fill up your saw, and then what's supposed to happen is when you pull the saw out, it's supposed to pop out. And it doesn't always do that, it sticks. So you go to stop fueling and you still have fuel coming out of the gas can. So if you have, we're going to anchor seal the ends of these timbers that we cut. That way there they resist checking and splitting. This stuff goes on white, but when it dries, it's clear. By painting this on here, we'll have less of a tendency to split or check. Put a good heavy coat on there. Like I said, when it dries, it's clear. You can't even tell what's on there. It's just a mixture of like waxes and stuff. We're going to do both sides. This cover is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. We still have to build a saw shed with a sawmill I gotta build the substructure for the sawmill extension. Right now we can only saw 16-foot logs, and with the extension we'll be able to do 30-foot logs. And I have one log that we cut down last year, a year ago, so it was last spring, so we could get a 30-foot beam out of it. Probably be easier if I put this in a tray and rolled it on. You want to put it on fairly heavy. Anchor seal. What ends up happening if you have a timber, it will dry quicker at the ends. So by putting this product on there, it resists that. It will, you're basically sealing the end grain. Well, you're sealing the end grain. Putting it heavy on the end. Then I'm kind of going up the side approximately an inch. I don't think you have to go up the side, but I am. Sun's coming out. Sign of things to come. Tomorrow is supposed to get warm. Supposed to be a nice day. Today was a good work day. Not too hot. All these logs that were in our original log pile, Tammy treated the ends. She oiled them so they won't check, and it seems like what she did worked pretty well. Looks like one of those ends. She just did the, she used a roller, and she did the old timers method to seal the end. Didn't spend any money on a commercial product, but the logs didn't check. Well, it did what it was intended to do. You can look it up in one of our previous videos. At least the sealing part. We didn't burn or toast these timbers, but we did seal them. Here's 3. Oh. But with all these logs, I'm not sure you need a commercial wood grain sealer. Like I said, we use that old timers trick to seal the logs when we first stacked them all, and they pretty much stood the test of time, and none of them are checking on the end or splitting. you can see how as it's drying, it's going clear. At least that product. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this canopy up on top of them. We raised the canopy up over the mill 24 inches. We raised it up. So now I got the mill in the fully up position, and we have plenty of clearance for the roll on the gauge there to tell how thick we're cutting. Got plenty of clearance. That was a long time coming. Sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So note to self, we got to make sure that we're shimming the logs and take into account the thickness from end to end so we can get the most out of them. I took that beam that we were cutting. Where's that tape measure? Here it is. Took that beam that we were cutting and I turned it into a rough 8 by 9 1/4. I could have turned it into a 7 by 8, but I decided to cut it down. I mean, we had some of the bark still on this, so here you can see I used the drawer knife to get the bark off. But this is going to be a big help getting that up higher. We've been working basically around that. And this end of the mill eventually, I'll show you over here. This end over here, this end of the mill will be like a square old western storefront, and then the rest of it will be a basic lean-to, high on one side, low on the other. You get another log up here, start cutting them. You can see with the anchor seal, as it's drying out, it's turning a clear, it's drying out. It goes from white to a clear. But there it is. If you're not having your best day, it's all about the attitude. Make sure you have the right attitude and have your best day. God bless.